It's taping.
Good afternoon, class. My name is Janae Carpenter, and my presentation is on the cognitive effects of sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation is not a disorder, but sleep deprivation affects our cognitive abilities. This disorder, of course, affects us because we're college students. It affects medical workers, overnight shift workers. This can be a dangerous habit if you continue to not get enough sleep. Now, watch this brief video that displays why we don't get enough sleep.
Sleeping away from home. I had a paper to write.
I was at a party.
I was in the library. I had to study for my midterm because I had a lot of stress and pressure.
So there's always people or something going on in my apartment.
Again, as you can see, sleep deprivation affects all of us, especially college students when our schedules are not fixed. We have long periods of time where we can do whatever we want to do. So going into the studies that we were required to research as part of our topic, my first study is about visual attention. This study was conducted to see if the right or left hemisphere contributed to our visual attention when we are sleep deprived. According to the research, our right hemisphere controls both the left and the right hemisphere. And as the researchers were conducting the study, they used military personnel. Military personnel are required to be on duty for long periods of time. So this was a great group to test. Also, they used the choice visual perception test and also the serial addition test. And these experiments, or these tests, should I say, basically allow them to see how visual attention was deprived. Again, the results, there was decreased attention according to the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. The next study. Impaired decision-making after 48 hours of sleep deprivation. A study was conducted where they used something called Iowa gambling test. Basically, this test allows them to decide if a person is sleep deprived, would they make risky decisions or would they make relatively normal decisions. According to the study, again, these individuals they made risky decisions because they were sleep deprived, because of course they're operating like zombies. They're not in their normal brain condition, or they're not in their normal state of mind. Again, the results were that the Iowa gambling test showed that there was impairment to the prefrontal cortex. The next study, neural basis of cognition performance during sleepiness. They wanted to see if the thalamus contributed to sleep deprivation, or what effect the thalamus have on cognitive impairments and alertness. The test they use again is the serial addition and subtraction test and the sleep latency test. You know, throughout the study, the serial addition test was used several times. It shows the consistency of this test being used to decide whether or not cognitive deficits were present, which just shows you during the study that consistency shows that there must be some validity to the study. The fourth research, or the fourth experiment, was cognitive function in normal adult male subjects. They tested the acute sleep deprivation on cognitive functions. They found out that after 36 hours of sleep deprivation, different parts of the brain again were affected. The tests used were the Nebraska Neuropsychological Test and the DigiSpan Korean version of KWAS test. They tested skills that we usually use. Prime example, college students, when we're sleep deprived and we're studying for exams, so we need to use our reading, we need to use our arithmetic skills, we need to use certain skills to help us in order to ace these exams as we're cramming, should I say. The things that were affected were our motor function, our receptive, speech, and expressive skills. So just imagine being sleep deprived, coming to Dr. K's class, conducting your project. You won't perform as you would if you had sleep running off of deprived sleep. For future research, I will research us. Why not research if a college student is deprived of sleep, how they perform academically, if a college student receives sleep, how they perform, and also a person that's in between. To conclude, there is no substitution for sleep deprivation. Just get some sleep.
Okay, and I have a question for you. What method would you use to let incoming students in college know, that they need to get sleep? How would you spread the word? How would you let them know how important it is? Because I think a lot of times it's not given to students, so they just don't know.
Well, Dr. K, I think that students are able to relate to things if they are shown by an example. So for incoming freshmen in the intro to psychology class, maybe I'll do an experiment with them. Maybe I'll have them deprived of sleep for 48 to 72 hours, have a prize connected with it, and to test these students to see how well they perform on an exam after they've been sleep deprived. Thus, this would show them that if you continue to do this throughout your college career, that you will not be successful and that you will probably flunk out of college.
Excellent job.